Aloha! What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Omens. This episode and all Omens episodes are dedicated to reading the signs of Mother Nature, seeing what's going on and the fluxes that are happening, the stories that are being shared with us by the Earth. And that way we can learn to read the signs. We don't have to guess at future dates of when the apocalypse is going to come and, be disappointed time and time again by others who believe that they know when the world is going to end. We just simply listen to the Earth and we watch these signs so that we can have a better understanding of when these things are upon us, which is what I believe is the best thing to do. Okay. Mathematics aside, I like to read the omens. So let's check out some of these omens that have been happening lately. And I want to thank everybody. Next week, I'll be sharing a lot of viewer submissions. There's a link on my community tab. I think it's called posts or something now. But in that link, you can send me your omens, videos and pictures and stuff. So check this out. This is what's happening around the world lately. This says, days before landing, Blue Ghost just sent back mind-blowing footage of the moon's hidden side in stunning detail. Well, I don't believe that the moon has a hidden side except for the outside, because I believe that the moon is a dome up there attached to the firmament, the real moon, not the projection in the sky. I believe the moon is a luminary, which is what the Bible calls it, which is what many ancient descriptions of the moon describe it as. It's simply a light, not a rock, not sand or dust ball up there circling the world. But let's check out this amazing footage of the moon. And I want to see what you guys think about this too. So it's only 4 seconds long. I do have one that's a little bit longer, but check this out. So this is supposed to be the moon over here to the side. Check this out. Now, is it just me? Like, I mean, I've got a million problems with the whole moon deal. But one of them is just how big they always try to make the moon look like. It seems like it's always way smaller. What is this outside light all the way around? See that? How there's sort of shine, and then there's like this dot right there in the middle. But yeah, I'm not convinced that this is the actual moon. It doesn't look very convincing to me. I think I've got a longer one here, so let's check this out. So this is supposed to be, let me read this. Earthrise, Earth set and repeat. Blue Ghost's third and final lunar orbit maneuver is complete. Early this morning, our Ghost Riders performed a 16-second burn with our RCS thrusters. Oh yeah, they're thrusting out in zero, they're using their thrusters and their air spritzes to navigate in a vacuum. All right, so let's check out what this looks like. Oh, there's music. Hold on, all right, so this is supposed to be the moon. Something looks off, doesn't it? It's like whenever you look at AI pictures, they seem lifeless. They seem like there's no soul in the people that are created by the AI. And look at this. This is supposed to be the Earth way back here, I'm assuming. Look how tiny that is, right? Look how big the Earth, the moon is from the surface of our world. And then we look back, allegedly, from the surface of the moon, and the Earth is smaller than the moon looks from here, right? Shouldn't it be 4 times bigger? Because it's about, 4 times larger than the moon is. Makes sense to me. Anyways, I thought this was pretty interesting that they keep on making promises and showing us pictures of the moon, and now they're showing us alleged videos of the moon, but none of it really adds up. Like, look how crisp this line is over here. It doesn't add up that they have such high definition 4K movies that are being taken by helicopters on Mars, and yet when it comes to the moon, it's just mysterious. They trick everyone. They like string them along with all these promises to go back to the moon. When the reality is, like, there's a glaring elephant in the room, which is, why haven't you gone back to the moon yet? There's clearly a big fat problem. If you had the technology, if you were able to go to the moon, and it was such a celebration, why not continue doing it? They can't, because the moon is a luminary. All right, here's another picture, or this is a video actually. So look at this. How does this feel to you guys? Forget proving, and anything like, what's the feeling you get when looking at something like this? Right? To me, it just doesn't, it has that soulless feel to it. It has like a PlayStation vibe to it, right? And that's not the only evidence that I base, my conclusions on, which is that the moon as it's portrayed is not real. That the actual moon that's up there is a luminary, and there's a physical object projecting its own image into our sky, but that's a portion of the firmament. This right here just strikes me as just fake. Not real. And then look at the horizon. See how small the moon is supposed to be? This is like 60 miles up. Right? And then, oh, watch this. Now they're going to turn on the air spritz and they're going to start turning it. Psst, right? Just shooting all that air against the vacuum of space so that you can maneuver or whatever. None of it. I don't know, man. Like, I do believe that they send things up into the space that's between here and the dome, and that they might, maneuver around up there or whatever. And that's why there's solar wind, because the sun is inside of a closed system. And so there's wind in here, right? There's no wind in the vacuum of space, or there's not supposed to be. That's what a vacuum is. Anyways, I thought that was some interesting stuff. When they talk about going to the moon, they're talking about going to the firmament, in my opinion. Let's see what else we got. I think we're going to come back to the moon in just a second. This one here, right here, says the Earth is cracking. This new hypothesis suggests that something is happening beneath the Earth's crust that has never happened before. Whatever has happened in the past will happen again, and it will repeat itself if it's cyclical in nature, which I believe that these things are. But here is the omen: the Earth is cracking. The Earth is splitting up. I'll tell you why the Earth is cracking. It's because it's about to give birth. The Earth opens up. Mother Earth gives birth to the light of the world, which comes from inside of the Earth. And whenever she's getting ready to give birth, she releases all these gases. And there's inner Earth fluctuations, and there's depressurization events and stuff. And those gases get released up here into our world, which cause earthquake lights, sinkholes, and regular earthquakes, the Earth splitting open in different places and stuff. There's actually a prophecy that says that there's going to be 3 major splittings of the Earth. I believe that's in Islam. Check this one out. China's humanoid robot turns into a kung fu master after a dazzling dance debut. I'm super unimpressed, personally, by dancing robots. I really don't. I could think of much better things for robots to be made for, aside from just dancing. You know what I mean? Like, how is dancing man? I personally, I don't really see, I don't understand dancing, like I'll dance sometimes or whatever, but it's not that big of a deal to me that I need to go invent a robot to dance. You know what I mean? Like, it seems like there would be another agenda, but this isn't a dancing robot. This is a kung fu robot that knows kung fu, allegedly, that does these little kicks and stuff. Hold on, let me see if this works here. Yeah, watch this. He's going to do this flip kick, roundhouse. Fopow, fopow, shwapow. This is a bad idea. This will be used against people. You know what I mean? I could see this easily being used against people whenever the robots take over the world. That's another thing that I believe is going to happen, is the robot takeover, right? That the robots are actually going to turn on civilization and humanity. Being that that's the pattern, that the creators always have their creation rebel against them. Anyways, I think that's a terrible idea, to teach robots how to do kung fu and then record it in the streets, and people are so entertained and amazed by it. This one is about the population rates. All right, so the populations are dropping across the world. Sometimes they try to focus on one country or another. This article is about Japan, but this is happening everywhere. Japan on the verge of no longer functioning after birth rates plummet to record new lows. Japan saw a record 1.6 million deaths last year as births marked a 5% fall. And I turned off my ad blocker for some stupid reason because I was troubleshooting my computer, so there's all these crazy ads all over the place. My website does not have ads, so that is a good point to make out to make. You won't have all of this crazy stuff. This reminds me of Black Mirror. Do you guys ever see Black Mirror? That show is prophetic, man. Where they have, I think it was called 15 Million Merits, was one of the episodes, where all the people in the future are basically locked in their bedrooms and until they're allowed to leave to go to work or whatever. And when they work, they hop on a bicycle to create electricity. But in their rooms, when they're playing video games or when they're watching something, when an ad comes on, they have to pay to not watch the ad. And the ad takes up every wall in their room and they're stuck in there. So if you're poor, you have to watch the ads. If you try to close your eyes in that show, like this high-pitched alarms go off and they make people watch the ads. It's crazy. But anyways, yeah, the populations are on the decline. This is predicted in various movies like The Children of Men and others. Mother Earth is revoking everyone's right to give birth, okay? Mankind, in my opinion, has not really proven themselves capable, and have actually proven themselves opposite, which is evil and in a state of complete degradation. I'm not saying that it's mankind's fault. I believe this is actually just a part of the cycle that we're in, that we're responding to the energy or the lack of energy in this world and how it's acting. But yes, low birth rates. I imagine that's going to be a pretty huge thing that's going to be in the news much more as we go forward in time in the next 10, 20 years. Now, this one right here says, robot with large drill is headed for the surface of the moon. We're drilling into the moon, people. All right, so like I said, and here's a pretend picture of the robot in question on the moon, allegedly, right? It says image by intuitive machines. That means it's not a photograph. It's not an actual picture. Anyways, a robot has a big drill that's going to the moon. I'm quite certain this is code for they're going to the firmament and they're trying to get out. They're trying to find a way to escape or let the pressure out to minimize the apocalyptic cycle or something, but it's definitely not landing on a big light up in the sky and drilling into it. Nor is it landing on a big rock that's just hanging above our heads ominously and trying to get new materials or water or whatever. What's up, River? Hey, River just joined my channel, subscribed. That's awesome. NATO's plan to defend Arctic from Putin faces Trump-shaped hurdle. So this is an interesting thing that's popping up more and more, is the Arctic's role in all of this political stuff that's been happening. Look at these old world buildings too. See these little Hershey's Kisses, these little golden ones? These are lightning rods. This is crazy. I don't want to get too distracted by this video. But my point is, keep an eye on the Arctic, okay? Because like we talked about yesterday, and this is how we're going to end today's presentation, is with the Gog and Magog connection, right? The wolf people, the dog people or whatnot that come up out of the north, right? So there's a lot of prophetic interest in the North Pole and a lot of historic, forgotten history that's related to the North Pole as far as mutants and giants and strange animals and alien creatures and other things too. Now, this one says that the moon will turn blood red over central Florida, and here's when. Now, people always talk about this blood red moon. Every time there's a quote-unquote blood red moon or whatever, they always call it that. Anytime the moon changes color. Let me show you something. What color is this? Is that red? I don't think so. This is orange. Okay? They keep telling you guys what color things are, and then they show you something completely different. Okay? This is not blood red. There was a time when the moon turned blood red, actual red, and stayed that way for quite some time. That was the last apocalyptic cycle. Excuse me. This next cycle, I believe it's going to turn blue. That it'll be once in a blue moon. And I'm not talking about these fake blue moons that they show you all the time. Oh, it's a blue moon. Every month there's a blue moon. That negates the whole blue moon concept. Blue moon is supposed to be, it's supposed to infer like this never happens. Not this happens every single month. You know what I mean? There's no blue moon every single month, especially when they call them blue moons or whatever. The moon's getting smaller, it's shrinking, it's getting further away, it's getting brighter, and it's turning blue, just like the sun is turning blue. But this is interesting, you know, that they bring this up, the whole blood red thing. This stays with our memory of the time when the moon did turn blood red. And it's the same thing with the sun. If you look at ancient depictions of the sun is blood red on nearly everything across the board. Saint Paladin 77 just gave in the super chat. Thank you. That was super kind. I appreciate it. That makes me feel happy whenever people enjoy, you know, or the information vibes with people. I appreciate it. This one says robotic exoskeleton. Oh, by the way, I wanted to give a huge shout out to someone that sent some mail. Nanya Beeswax sent me a very kind card. Very nice little thank you card that I opened up. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Mary over in Florida. That draws me my pictures of my horses. There's a few people that occasionally will like write me letters or send, you know, mail to my P.O. box or whatever. So I just wanted to say thank you. Like every time that happens, it makes my day. All right. What else? Oh, exoskeletons. So people are combining technology with their very bodies. In China, it takes the form of these exoskeletons. Check this out. So they wear these little contraptions on their legs. They're actually robots. that they attach to their hips and to their legs and stuff. And it helps them it does most of the work for their muscles in place of their muscles. So I read this article, and the people that used these to walk up this mountain said it felt like someone was pushing them up the mountain, right? So I imagine that when technology does get so out of control that we can't stop it and it turns on us, that we'll probably have to use exoskeletal technology to fight and defend ourselves in some cases. Here we have scientists turned the James Webb telescope to examine black hole at center of our galaxy and saw something wild. We saw constantly changing, bubbling brightness. All right, so let me explain this in layman's terms and just get right to the point. They took this telescope and they pointed it at a black hole at the center of our galaxy. Well, I have an alternative cosmology. I don't believe in the spinning, wobbling, tilting, flying ball theory through nothing that also has space weather and wind and all that other crap. It's all contradictory. I don't believe in any of that crap. But I do believe in the firmament. I do believe that the firmament is our galaxy, as it contains all of the stars underneath it. And so when they point this at the center of it, they're looking at the apex dome, which is the depressurization point to our sky, which is a big black hole. On the other side of that black hole is a light show. It's ionized hydrogen that's just twisting around and wrapping around our world, which is why all of our stars and luminaries and everything, for the most part, follow the exact same path in the sky. They're all following the path of the light source that's beyond the firmament, that's creating those lights in our sky. So when they point this at the center of the galaxy, that's code for the apex dome, or the inverted dome that's at the top of the firmament, that faces down towards us like the all-seeing eye, because that's what it is. So they looked down and they say that we saw brightness coming out of this black hole, right? Or just outside of the black hole, because the black hole allegedly eats light. It's also an eater. It's also a Chronos type, which is the same thing as the hole in the sky, which is also depicted in Black Hole Sun, the music video. Anyways, let's move on. That one's kind of boring. All right, next up, when and how to check out Friday night's planet parade. So all the planets are in the sky. Here's another. Man, look at all these crazy ads. I'm going to put my ad blocker back up. All right, so check this out. All the planets are all in the sky. They can all be seen at one time. Very nice. That's great. That's lovely. Everyone always comes out of the woodworks to say, oh my gosh, this is such a crazy omen. Yes, it is an omen. I agree. And it's a parade. They're getting ready for the big show. Okay, when all the players show up, everyone shows up in advance, and then the last person to show up is the savior figure, the king figure, the ruler or whatever, which is the light, right? Which is the earth light that is born up out of the world. I'd say a bigger omen is whenever all these little luminaries, which is what these are, when they actually eclipse one another. Okay, to me, that's like the great conjunction. That's the great eclipse or whatever. All these little dots are eventually going to all line up. They're all going to go towards the north, I believe. And they'll all be in the sky at the same time for quite some time. If my assumption is correct. Look at this old guy in the jacuzzi with his shirt on. What was that? They have the weirdest ads. All right, let's get out of here. This is crazy. These ads are just insane, dude. Like, does anyone out there actually click on this crap when it's like, pow, oh, check it out, half off, and people are like, oh my god, half off? I have to check that out. Like, are there real people that actually do that fall for that? You know what I mean? I don't get it. Maybe I'm just different. I don't know. Next up, archaeologists are finding mysterious ancient objects on Norway's melting glaciers. So they found all these ancient objects within the glaciers that are melting. Listen, if those glaciers are actually pieces of the sky, like I speculate from the last time that the sky broke open and fell, yeah, they're going to have crushed all kinds of life and have all kinds of artifacts and things beneath them. Also, the last time the plasma apocalypse happened, right, it's basically a huge depressurization that pulls everything and sucks everything towards the middle of the world. So naturally, where you have the downdraft of that huge storm, you're going to have super cold air that just instantly freezes everything around the Arctic Circle. I mean instantly freezing it, like the mammoths, right? Everyone knows the mammoths froze instantly. How could there be a person on Earth that does not know this? I know how. It's because they've been, their mind has been hijacked by all of the teachings and spellcraft of their school systems. But I'm here to tell you, if you look into it, I'm sure you're going to find that all the way around the Arctic Circle, it's a ring of frozen death. frozen dead bodies from a time long forgotten. And there's probably all kinds of interesting artifacts and stuff down underneath that. They had this one. What was it? They say this is a horseshoe. Let me make it smaller. So they're trying to say this is an ancient horseshoe. I don't know. It's just sticks bent in a circle. I feel like a horse would wreck that. I don't know. But then they have this one, an ancient mitten. And it says down here, ancient mitten, which looks just like a modern one. Like, maybe because at the time, it was the modern age all over again, that they were advanced. You know what I mean? They weren't just cave-dwelling monkey people. But maybe we go through cycles of destruction, you know, and that destruction usually comes according to the myths and the legends and whatnot when we're at the height of our technological advancements. And then the gods look down and then they confer with one another and then they judge and they determine whether or not mankind should be allowed to go on now that they've reached the point of no return with their technology. Have they proven themselves? Have they passed any tests? This article says NASA supercomputer reveals strange spiral structure at the edge of our solar system. Like I said, that spiral is the plasma on the other side of the dome. Okay, when they look up at the dome and they think they're looking off into the vastness of space, it's just a magic eye, basically. They're pretending, and they're allowing themselves to pretend like all that darkness is actually navigable regions of space. They can go through it, you know, just like when you stare at the magic eye, you're actually just staring at a solid object right in front of you, but you're looking way into it, you know what I mean? Same type of deal. But anyways, this spiral structure at the edge of their solar system, the edge of the solar system is just the dome. That's it. All right. On the other side of that, there's a huge spiral filaments of plasma that are wrapped around our world. What's next? This robot swarm can flow like liquid and support a human's weight, inspired by living cells. The robots flow around objects and solidify into tools and other objects. So we have nanobots, little tiny nanobots that act just like cells. They can tighten up like a muscle, and they can contract and relax. They can take the form of different objects. They can take different shapes. And I imagine they're probably going to look a lot like black frickin' goo. Right? This is technology. I feel like the black goo is like our attempts at creation, and it's life-giving, but it's usually life that turns on life. You know what I mean? Like destructive life creation, this advanced liquid black goo form. I feel like the white liquid, on the other hand, is the exact opposite, that's something more natural and life-giving that comes from the earth. This is our attempt. This is what we make, right? And this is also the season of Satan, when you have a clear parasite represented by this dude's tongue. That's probably the actual, this Venom's tongue is probably the actual entity. Okay, the rest of it, probably, who knows, advanced nanotechnology or some crap. But this is a parasite that has been thrust to the status of superhero. What the frick is wrong with you guys? Not you, you know what I mean, but like the earth. What's wrong with people? Where am I right now? Where am I? Can someone give me directions to like the Holy Land or, you know, paradise or like someplace good as opposed to frickin' purgatory where this is a superhero? Like, the world is so backwards. Like, how can anyone argue that it's not the season of Satan? That the devil rules the world and the airwaves whenever this is the superhero? It's literally a parasite. This dude has a parasite, and he goes around, it's an alien that eats brains on top of everything. It's just a big old parasite, and they make a point of that movie a couple of different times, that he's a parasite. This dude has a parasite, and he's thrust into the spotlight as a superhero. Really? Anyways, this nanotechnology is getting crazy, and when they allow it to just, you know, when it starts just replicating itself, and whenever it's sentient, which it's going to quickly become sentient, you better watch out, man. There's going to be just this crap laying around. Don't let it get on you. Anyways, another doomsday fish just washed up on a popular beach. It's seemingly fitting timing. What is this? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. You can get 50% off clearance diamond earrings and an extra 10% off code. Oh my God. How do I get rid of this? Close that ad. Insane. Another doomsday fish just washed up on a popular beach. So check this out. These are called oarfish, and they are They're living omens of an apocalyptic event. When these things show up, cataclysms happen. Okay? In Japanese lore and history, these oarfish are deep sea creatures. And so they were supposed to stay in the deep sea, like a mile down. But they don't. They've been washing up all over the place, and in strange places too. Like they washed up on the coast of California. And then later on, California had like a 7.0 earthquake. Right? Hold on. I think there's like an article. Skip. What is all this? Hold on. God, man. They just like fill up the whole screen with ads. This is insane. Just like in Ready Player One, remember? Whenever they try to like put so many ads before they induce seizures in people. It's insane, dude. Oarfish are harbingers of bad news, particularly disasters or destructions. And this one right here actually popped up in Mexico. Now watch this. I'm going to show you a video actually. This is the oarfish that popped up.
What are you doing?
That's an oarfish. See it kind of just squiggling around right there? So it just beaches itself, right? Like what is so bad down in the underworld or in the lower parts of the ocean that the entities and animals that live down there are like, fudge this, I'm out. And they're swimming all the way up to the top. Like, did you guys see the anglerfish? There's another video. I don't have it ready, but there's an anglerfish. Big, I mean, they look like monsters. They look like inner earth monsters, which is what they are. And there's many. Oh man, these are the cute ones. These are the easy ones. These are the ones you don't even have to worry about. Okay, wait till the real ones come up and the gigantic ones and the land-dwelling ones. Oh my God. Anyways, this is a huge omen that the oarfish are starting to rise to the surface, that underwater deep-sea creatures are leaving their abode at the bottom of the ocean and just coming up. Forget the pressure, forget, any of the dangers and instant death coming up to the surface and just beaching yourself saying, get me out of here, right? These creatures don't want to live down there. There's something happening inside of the earth right now. I'd say it's a huge omen of the apocalypse. Next up, red tide stretches from Tampa Bay to Florida, or to the Florida Keys. What is it? Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. This is an omen of the oceans turning blood red, or 1/3 of the oceans, as it's said in the book of Revelation, right? 1/3 of the oceans turn blood red. Why? Because they become toxic, because they become full of bacteria and algae and disgusting things. The waters are becoming bitter. They're bitter waters. They're poisonous waters. They're toxic waters. And right now, it's already been established by mainstream academics, over 50% of the ocean is no longer considered blue, but green. So the majority of the ocean today we have today is green. Why is it green? Because it's full of bacteria and other things that are, produce toxins and stuff. Those can easily turn into red tide, right? Whenever the light gets too bright, those toxins change colors and stuff. They release more toxins into the air. They kill all kinds of fish. They kill all kinds of marine life. And this is right along with what the Bible says about the oceans turning blood red and 1/3 of the creatures dying. So if 1/3 of the ocean is blood red, 1/3 of the creatures are dying in the ocean, and then all those toxins are rising up and all that death from the ocean is rising up into our air, what do you think is going to happen to us? Respiratory diseases, okay? That's what's going to happen. People are going to be breathing this in, and they're not going to be able to live in these areas or near to these areas, and they're going to try to figure out ways to stop it and stuff. But it'll be too late. It's already too late. An outbreak of werewolf syndrome. Somebody actually mentioned this when I was doing my Gog and Magog. I can't remember who mentioned it, but I want to just thank everyone, whoever did. This is really interesting to me. Infants grow excessive body hair in an outbreak of werewolf syndrome. Check this out. This is really interesting. So all these kids are being born with hair all over. They have werewolf syndrome. It's hypertrichosis. So check this out. It says, look, here's another example. Little hairy baby, right? All over. Now, check this out. It's called hypertrichosis. And I think they said that there were 11 kids born last year with hypertrichosis in the UK. They're trying to blame some drug that the parents may have taken or whatever, which is a hair loss drug, which doesn't even make sense to me. How are you your parents are gonna take a hair loss drug and then you're gonna have an excessive amount of hair. But hypertrichosis is called werewolf disease, right? And this is people that look like werewolves, that have hair all over their faces, all over their bodies, everywhere, except for like the palms of their hands and like maybe right under the eyes or something. But this is a part of prophecy across history. In Christian apocalyptic texts, Some medieval Christian prophecies describe monstrous births as signs of the end times. These include figures like the Sibylline oracles and various monastic writings. The prophecies of Saint Hildegard of Bingen, the 12th century, she described various unnatural human-animal hybrids appearing as omens. And I'm not saying that these children that are born with hypertrichosis are human-animal hybrids. I'm just saying this is oftentimes in ancient history what it was interpreted as, because they look kind of, they have animalistic qualities. In Islamic and Persian traditions, some eschatological traditions mention people being transformed into animal-like beings due to their sins. Ancient Greek and Roman myths, the cynocephali, the dog-headed people, were often described in the works of Pliny the Elder and medieval travelers' accounts. Slavic and Russian prophecies, some Old Slavic texts mention people with dog faces as a sign of moral corruption in our changing world. And then there's also this one, which is probably the best, which is called the Apocalypse of Pseudo-Methodius in the 7th century, an apocalyptic text, lesser known and very difficult to get a hold of. But here, it is alleged that he gives this prophecy: women will give birth to monstrous beings, some with the faces of dogs, others with the heads of wild beasts. These will be signs of the destruction of mankind and the nearing end of the world. Babies being born with werewolf disease. 11 of them last year alone, at the very least, that I counted, just in the UK. So, these are the signs of the times that we live in. And this is my episode of Omens. Well, do you guys have any omens in the chat? Hold on, let me check the chat, see if anybody's been sharing any omens. Where is it? Hold on, where's the chat? Here we go. It's me. All right, let's see. You know what else I was thinking about earlier today, just while I'm checking the chat or whatever? McDonald's always has that sign that says like billions and billions served. So I try to do the math on how many cows that is. Like, are there enough cows to make that many burgers across the world everywhere? I feel like there's not. And if there's not enough cows, you know what that means, right? Okay. All right. What's up, Lala Tarot's Life? Brian A. Metz. Mad Pax. Good to see you. It's kind of going fast right now, so I'm just going to look for my name here. Wispy Black Venom reminded me of Spawn. Yeah, it kind of does remind me of Spawn. Let's see. Superhero, but for the other team. Oh, yeah. Are you guys still talking about Venom? All right. Sweet. Well, everybody, now hold on. Let me give you guys some attention here and put your little chats up on here and behind me. Check that out. So there's everybody. I see all kinds of people back there. Man, see how fast it goes? I can't read that. That's why I always look for like my name, just highlighted or whatever. And now I don't know how to shrink it. Oh, there it goes. Okay, sweet. All right. Anyways. Yeah, I missed you guys. I just wanted to say hi. Just hang out for a bit. So check this out. I've got a special guest, an honored guest coming in tomorrow. You guys know I've got my podcast called Truth Seekers. And tomorrow, I'm having the Plasma Girl. Some of you guys know who that is. I'll probably make like a little advertisement on it tonight and, promote that. But I'm really excited to talk to this girl. That she makes all these videos about plasma. And the thing I love most about it is her excitement. It's like this childlike wonder. Anyways, you guys will see tomorrow when I have her on the show. That'll be cool. Shout outs. Let's see. Let me give a shout out to Library of the Untold. He's making good work. My Lunch Break, also doing good things. I don't know. There's so many different channels. There's a whole bunch of channels, right? One of these days, I'm just going to gather them all together and we're going to have a Truther Fest. I don't know. All right, I'm going to take off. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit today. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
I Cool.